me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am married, and I'm a new mother. I just had my first baby.
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a blessing, but unfortunately, a little bit of a curse as well, I have to say. I've been married to my husband for about 2 years. We've been together about 5 years before that, and recently, since I had our baby, he all of a sudden wants me to quit my job, which is, it's unfortunate, and especially because this had never really been a problem before. We both work. I make a little bit more than him. I'm a project manager for a toy company, and actually I manage the production of Barbie.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I know, I love it. That's why it's so difficult, and I really just don't understand why he wants me to give it up. I mean, not only does it make me happy, I mean, it obviously brings in income for both us and our child now, our whole family, and I think it just would really be a drawback on us financially, and I don't understand where it's coming from. It's starting to cause a rift in our relationship.
Right. Okay. So, why do you think that he wants you to quit your job?
I really don't know. I mean, he often says that I need to be there for our child and to be a mother. I suggest like a nanny or some sort of daycare. My mother could watch him even, his mother, and grandparents love the children, you know. So they're dying to get, some quality time, but he just is determined that mother raises the child and there's no leeway in that. And even my work actually has the daycare built in, which I thought would be perfect. I could work, I could have the child in the daycare at work, but that just doesn't seem to be good enough. I mean, he wants me there for all the feedings and, which is great. That's fantastic. I would, of course, love that, but I mean, I'm a mother, but I'm also,
You work.
I'm at work.
You're a working mother.
I'm a working mother, exactly.
Yeah,
and work is important to me. I mean, I have a lot of things that define who I am, and I think if I quit my job,
you lose a piece of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course. As a mother, I completely understand the struggle of work and motherhood. I understand that big time. So, do you think that this is just solely based on his version of what a mother is, like the gender role idea of a mother? Or
I don't think he came up with this on his own. His own mother. He's one of 5 children.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so big family on their part. I myself am an only child.
Okay.
So I don't really have. My mother worked. My parents divorced. My mother worked, and I stayed home. I had a babysitter at times, but she wasn't there 24/7. She made her best efforts, but and I think I turned out fine. I mean, he married me, so
well, there you go.
I mean, I can't be that bad, right?
No, of course
but
not.
his mother didn't work at all.
Okay.
The father was the sole provider, the breadwinner for the family,
Okay.
and the mother was there for everything all the time. She was a homemaker, she's a lovely woman, my mother-in-law. But that's just not for me, and I don't think it's for everybody. But I do know that that's something that he holds very near and dear to his heart, I think, and I don't think he's alone in that. I mean, I can recognize it on, in the media and things like that. That's the woman's role. To be a mother, to be nurturing, to be caring. And I wouldn't say that I'm not nurturing, but perhaps I'm not only nurturing. I have that side, but I'm also a businesswoman.
Right.
And that's something very important as well.
Of course. Your business is very important to you, and that makes a lot of sense. You like to work, you like your job, but you also love your child, so it's that internal struggle of what do I do now. So, do you feel as though the gender role for you does not apply?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, it is, like you said, a struggle, and I'm honestly beginning to feel almost as though I'm a bad mother. I mean, I don't think I am. It's one of those things where it creeps into your mind, that thought. Like, is he right? Am I a bad mother? Is this making me wrong? I mean, even, my own mother's behind me, but his mother has made some comments, his sisters, they don't work either. So they've all said, oh, gee, maybe you should take some time off. Aren't you tired? Don't you want to be there more? And I think, am I not there enough? Is my child going to grow up and have all these, you hear those things, the mom issues.
Yeah.
So am I going to end up, tormenting my child?
Right.
I don't want to cause any harm either.
It's that idea of, is my child going to miss out on mommy time?
Exactly. And part of me thinks that they're so young still
Yeah.
that maybe they won't remember.
No.
But at the same time, maybe they will. Maybe they'll end up with problems attaching. But on the other hand, part of me thinks, why doesn't he quit his job?
Right.
I mean, who doesn't love spending time with their dad?
True. It's the exact same thing. You need to attach
So,
to your
I mean, it
father.
does apply. I am the mother, obviously, he's the father, but I don't think it applies to the letter, I would say. I think there's some leeway, some loopholes as well, I would say.
Okay. Have you told him any of this?
I'm falling down on that a little bit, I will
Okay.
admit. I want to, and in this moment I have such this, like, I'm fierce about it, I'm a working woman, and I'm proud of that, but then in conversation with him, that kind of falls away. I get a little nervous, I can't really, articulate my feelings, I'm embarrassed that I feel this way, I feel like I'm whining or something, or being needy or spoiled, just I want my own way, and I'm afraid he won't understand, or that I'll cause an even bigger problem for him. He works, so he's, stressed out and working,
Of course.
hardworking, and I think at some points he feels as though his work is harder than mine. So he has a, I guess, blue collar job. You could say he's a mechanic.
Okay.
So he's working with his hands. It's physically laborious. I'm in an office, obviously. That's
Right.
a little different, but it's still work.
Yeah.
But he's made the comment a few times. I'm tired because I had worked hard all day. You just sat at the desk. So there's that divide too. And I don't want him to think that I don't appreciate him in all his hard work.
Right.
Of course I do, but I just can't muster the words.
Right. How do you feel when he says, "I've worked hard all day and you sat at my desk"?
Mad.
Mad?
I feel angry. Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't understand
Of course not.
what it takes. Yeah, maybe I did sit at a desk all day, but I had it. I'm above hundreds of other people, and I'm in charge of producing product for hundreds of thousands of people. It's not just sitting behind a desk. It's a lot. It takes a lot of mental labor too. And then I'm physically exhausted. I'm still a mother. I come home, and even when we are at home, I'm still the primary caregiver to our child. I'm the one who's getting up with the feedings. I'm dressing, changing, shopping, all the homemaking, laundry. That's a big one. The young child,
laundry.
yes, terrible. So I work, and not only at the office but at home too.
Do you feel like in some way you are supposed to have like these two different separate ideas? Like you are supposed to be working, but you're also supposed to be like a stay-at-home mom, and you don't know how to mesh them exactly.
I would say, I wish I could take off from work and still be happy, but I don't think I will be. Even when I had the maternity leave, I was bored almost, which sounds strange because you're so doing all this stuff with the newborn, but I just thought, like, is this all I'm doing? It's obviously not to take away from any mothers, any stay-at-home mothers. That's fabulous, but I have this yearning to go out to the workforce, to make my own way. Independence is something, and I think because my mother was a single working mother, that was instilled in me, that this independence, you have to be independent, especially financially independent, just in case anything were to happen. You need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and take care of your child.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's the primary objective, is to be able to be independent while still being able to take care of your child. It's
Exactly.
a good goal.
And I want to teach her that to my child. That
Is it
it's
a girl?
yes.
Oh,
little girl.
lovely.
So
cute.
yeah, she'll be in the Barbie soon. Maybe we'll see. But
Maybe.
well, Barbie's for everybody. But I want her to know either way, no matter what she chooses to do, always be independent. It's important.
Right.
And I honestly wouldn't want that for her. I wouldn't want her to have to stay home. I wouldn't want her to think that of herself, no matter what her situation is. So I'm at a loss there too. I want to be there for her, but I don't want to teach her that that's my only role. I don't want her to grow up and think, oh, now I can't work, I can't go to college, because what if I have a child? I need to be there for them.
Like going back to your husband and his family,
Mhm.
that you said that his mother didn't work, now his sisters don't work, so it's kind of like a chain reaction.
Exactly.
You see mom not doing something, you're not going to feel compelled to do the same action. Whereas you mentioned that your mother was a single working mother, and she raised you, and she instilled that independence and like need to thrive in the workplace in you,
Absolutely.
which is wonderful. And I'm very glad that she did that. I'm very proud of you for being so open with that idea.
Thank you.
So how do you feel about talking to your husband about this? Like, how do you feel now that you've expressed this to me? How do you think you could go about saying this to him?
Well, I think the one thing is to just make sure he's listening to me. Right now, you and I are face to face here, we're both totally engaged. But oftentimes when I try to talk to him, I almost unconsciously or not wait, maybe until he's watching TV or eating or not really fully present, so I can slip in some comments. maybe without him totally realizing what I'm saying, and then in the hope that maybe later something will click and then he'll just come up with this idea on his own.
Yeah.
But I think maybe if I set aside some time and really express myself to him and kind of take down my own mask and let him see that this is difficult for me too, and I do appreciate him, but I need more. I need to be able to be my own person as well as being a mother and a wife.
Do you think that if you asked him to take on some of the duties at home, he would be open to that? Or do you think he's kind of closed off to that?
I think it's something we'd have to work on. He loves our child, he loves his daughter, of course, his father. But I think that he just has this idea of what a father does. The father goes out and works, the mother stays home. And I think if I were to say, maybe even if we, if we both like drop some time at work and picked up here and there, maybe we do, give and take, or some days you're home, some days I'm home. I think maybe we can start from there and just work our way up a little bit. I don't know if I could come to him completely and just ask him to stop working. I think that would be met with a lot of aggression on his part. That he would be very angry that I even suggested such a thing. It's such a foreign concept to him. But I think he'd be open to it. I mean, he loves me.
Of course.
So I think he wants me to be happy. He wants me to be the best mother I can be, and the best person overall.
Right. You want what's best for you, and he's assuming that he knows what he wants is best for you as well.
Oh, exactly. I think that's what he thinks is that if you just give this a try, you'll see how much better it is to be home all the time. And I think he thinks that I should be over the moon thankful that I have a husband who's willing to let me stay at home all the time, but he doesn't understand that's actually stifling me. It's stifling my creativity, my education, everything I've worked for. And being a project manager is not something that that's not entry level.
No,
You don't just come in the door and get that. So that's something I've worked hard to achieve and I want to maintain. And unfortunately, in the workforce, if I were to leave for a long period of time, who's to say
they wouldn't
when I
replace
come
you.
back? Exactly.
That's the problem. Therein lies the dilemma. Of course. So, it's just some funny questions I have now.
Oh, absolutely.
So, how would you view this situation from like an outsider's perspective?
Well, as I like to think that I'm a strong, independent woman, but then I'm afraid that when I'm with my husband that I become this fragile little girl almost, and then I'm afraid. So I think as an onlooker, if I saw this, if I were giving advice to a friend, I would, why don't you stand up for yourself and just tell him how you feel, and don't take that from him. So it's difficult for me too. I mean, I want to be this strong person, strong woman.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm almost embarrassed. If I were to be an onlooker from the outside in, I would think that, oh God, this woman, just stand up to him, stand up to your husband, do what you want, do what you have to do.
But it's not always that easy.
Oh,
Of course not. Sometimes it's just like an inner struggle that you have where you want this, but you are acting a little bit differently. You don't know how to really mesh them or portray them together.
Exactly.
So how do you think you could better that? Because I feel like you've probably always been this, like, explosive person. That sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? But, like, you've always been this dedicated to who you are as a person. And I feel like you probably fell in love with that, and that's why you got married, and probably loved your drive and your ambition. So how do you think you could better that now since you've had the child?
Well, I think that maybe if I read up on some things, or maybe even like some group work, if I met up with other women, just to maybe see how they're doing it. I mean, obviously, women work all the time, they're mothers and they work, so I'm sure there's some kind of resource on that.
Yeah.
And not only can I feel that, but maybe I can bring that into our home and explain it to him, maybe show him some research, some readings, or anything like that, just to get him sort of on my mindset too, just to see maybe the other side. There is another way of doing things. Not necessarily better, but just maybe we should try that too.
Sure, exactly. That's actually a big part of what I do. It's called bibliotherapy.